As NBA fans, one thing we always question is who will be the next star to request a trade, who will find themselves on a new team and shake up the landscape of the NBA. Well, just recently Jaylen Brown was asked about his future with the Boston Celtics in an interview, and his response will have your mind absolutely blown. His response not only shocked all Celtics fans, but it started a question throughout the NBA. What does Jaylen Brown's future in the NBA look like? And that's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. Before getting started, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Fanatics. Fanatics is affiliated with the NBA in providing your team's favorite gear, whether it be shorts, jerseys, hoodies, shirts, pants, and so many more products. Fanatics always has the best quality products and is the most legit place to buy your NBA gear from. Check the link in my description or pinned comment to find some exclusive on-sale deals for NBA gear up to 60% off. It would mean so much to help support my channel as well. If you have any video suggestions or requests, please drop a comment so I can put it on the list and create it. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe. It's by far the best way to support this channel and ensure you don't miss out on any great basketball content like this. Also, like the video and comment on what you think Jaylen Brown's future looks like. With that being said, let's dive straight into the video. When most NBA fans think about who the best player on the Celtics is, they likely think of Jayson Tatum, understandably so. The guy has been on a legit tear since the keys of the franchise were given to him. But a lot of praise towards Tatum resulted in the downplaying of what Jaylen Brown brings to the Celtics. A big part of that has to do with the media praising Tatum for all he does and putting him on an all-NBA first team and MVP pedestal, which he deserves. But then debates start to come out about if the Celtics would be this good if they didn't have Jaylen Brown and only had Jayson Tatum. And then Jaylen Brown trade rumors start to come up. This caused a disconnect with the Celtics organization so much that Jayson Tatum had to get on a three-way call with GM Brad Stevens and Jaylen Brown to clarify the direction of this franchise and which way it was going in. On top of this, just this past summer when Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, the Celtics had no hesitation in an attempt to pursue Durant by throwing Jaylen Brown as the main selling point for the Nets. As we all know, the media blew this way out of proportion, and they didn't waste any time asking Jaylen how he felt about this. If there's one thing we can learn about Brown's personality, it's that he's very transparent and has no problem saying it how it is and how he feels honestly. When asked about the trade rumors, Brown said, "KD and JT are friends, they're working out together and whatnot," Brown told Murdoch, "so I wasn't sure what the energy was. I wasn't sure what the direction of the organization was." Brown continued saying, "It's hard coming into teams and organizations and being warm," Brown said. "They operate on different principles, I think. This is an organization. They look at it as a business, where they'll tell you one thing, and then behind closed doors, they'll say another, and they'll trade you. Like where I'm from in the South, if you don't come through the front door, it's considered disrespectful. I feel like a lot of times when you deal in these corporate spaces, everybody wants to come through the back door or come through an angle." These quotes were extremely concerning not only to the Boston Celtics fans, but the Celtics organization as a whole, due to Brown not offering any assurance about him 100% staying in Boston and not being fully committed to the team. To make matters even worse, just recently after these quotes were made, Brown was asked about what his future will look like with the Celtics, and he replied saying, "We'll see how they feel about me over time, and I feel about them over time. Hopefully whatever it is, it makes sense, but I'll stay where I'm wanted. I will stay where I'm needed and treated correctly." Once again, Brown's transparency about his frustration in Boston was enough to stir up more controversy about future potential trades and more. So with that aside, the question now is, what does Jaylen Brown's future with the Celtics look like, and what would have to happen in order for him to be on another team in the near future? Or for him to stay on the Celtics in the near future? As of right now, there isn't much optimism about Brown staying in Boston, and at this point, he pretty much has all the leverage for what he wants to do, and whatever he wants will go. If things keep up how they are, Brown will eventually become an unrestricted free agent in the 2024 summer, and he can decide to go wherever he wants to go, while the Celtics could get nothing to compensate for his loss. With him being a free agent in just 15 months from now, this creates a sense of urgency for the Celtics organization to either convince Brown into signing an extension, or another option, which we'll talk about really soon. For Boston, to keep Jaylen Brown, it would come at a big price, and that price is a supermax contract. If Brown makes an All-NBA team, he'll be eligible for a 5-year, $287 million supermax extension. Brown would almost certainly accept this extension, being that no player in NBA history has turned down a supermax contract. But if Brown doesn't make All-NBA, he would not be eligible for that extension, and the Celtics would be forced into offering him a maximum of 4 years, $165.2 million this July. If Brown's intentions are to sign with another team if he can't get the Supermax, he would almost certainly turn down that offer. If Jaylen ends up being an unrestricted free agent in the 2024 summer, the most the Celtics can offer him is 5 years, $245 million. But if he wants to sign with another team that has maximum cap space, he can sign for 4 years, $181.5 million. All of these numbers go out the window if Brown makes an All-NBA team this year, but it's not looking too optimistic right now for him to make the team. Luckily for Brown, he can make the nod as either a guard or forward, which not many players could say. But he will be competing against guys like Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, and the list goes on and on. With only 6 spots available, there's a big chance he doesn't make the team, which would then force Boston into their second option. And that option is shopping for more trade packages for Brown, which, as we discussed earlier, will only heighten tensions between the two parties. So the question now is, if the Celtics decide to trade Jaylen Brown, what are some trade destinations that he could potentially end up in? One destination that's really been floating around recently is a return to his hometown team, the Atlanta Hawks. This trade would make a lot of sense for the Hawks, due to them lacking a wing that could score the ball and defend like Brown can to complement Trae Young. That was really their main weakness this year, and is the reason why they're a lottery team. They need a guy like Brown to complement Young instead of playing 2 small guards next to each other without any real firepower at the wing. For the Celtics, this could work out because of the options the Hawks have to give up. Obviously, when trading a guy like Jaylen Brown, you're probably not going to get a player as good as him, but the Celtics know how to get many assets in trades like these to build depth on their team and make them great. Plus, by not trading Brown, they are taking the risk of him walking in free agency and losing him for nothing. One trade package that could work is Jaylen Brown, Luke Kornet, and Danilo Gallinari to the Hawks for DeJounte Murray, John Collins, Saddiq Bey, and a 2023 and 2025 unprotected first-round pick. I think this would be great value relative to what the market has to offer for Brown, and the Celtics have the opportunity to bring multiple assets in, 2 guys who can start, and a guy who could come off the bench, and 2 future picks which could be valuable down the line. Another destination where Brown could likely land up on is the Toronto Raptors. A trade package could look something like Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Danilo Gallinari, and 2 second-round picks to the Raptors for OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Jakob Poeltl, and a 2024 unprotected first-round pick. The Raptors get a top 15 player in Jaylen Brown to pair up with Scottie Barnes and Pascal Siakam to contend for a championship, while compensating for a Fred VanVleet, who would have likely walked in free agency and you would have lost him for nothing, while also upgrading at that 2-guard spot. For the Celtics, they get a massive haul in return for the all-star guard, in VanVleet and multiple guys with championship experience like OG Anunoby, who could be one of, if not the best 6 men in the NBA, along with Gary Trent and Jakob Poeltl, who are 2 very serviceable players, plus a first-round pick. One last team who I think could be a major threat to land Jaylen Brown and would be an instant championship contender if they land him is the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, the Grizzlies are loaded top to bottom and have a ton of depth, but they have a lot of similar weaknesses to what the Hawks have and are missing that wing who can score and defend like Brown. A trade package that could work is Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, and Mike Muscala to the Grizzlies for Brandon Clark, Tyus Jones, Luke Kennard, Dillon Brooks, a 2023 unprotected first-round pick, and a 2026 unprotected first-round pick. For the Grizzlies, as we mentioned before, they get a 3rd star to pair up with Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. to help contend for a championship, while the Celtics get a boatload of depth to their roster, in addition to 2 first-round picks. Some other teams that could deeply be in the mix for Brown are teams like the Houston Rockets, Brooklyn Nets, Denver Nuggets, New Orleans Pelicans, New York Knicks, Miami Heat, Sacramento Kings, and Chicago Bulls. Although Brown might be frustrated with how the organization is treating him, it's not set in stone that he would want to leave the Celtics. Brown has been a part of the culture building of this team from the start and is fresh off his first NBA Finals appearance last year. He went through a lot with the Celtics and has seen many different rosters in the process, so to leave that culture knowing he's a key piece can be challenging. But nevertheless, Jaylen Brown is 26 years old, and he may just want a shot at being the first option on another team, or just a fresh start in another system. If the Celtics ended up losing Brown for nothing, it would be a devastating loss. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are the best young duo in the NBA, and even without a legit star on the Celtics, they are still championship favorites in the NBA. I don't think people realize how good Brown is, being that he's 9th in the NBA for points per game, averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. It's safe to say he's entering his prime, and it's going to be a very, very interesting next few months to see where Jaylen Brown will land, or what his future looks like. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end and you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It's It's by far the best way to support me and help this channel grow. And I appreciate you so much if you're a returning or new subscriber. Make sure to check out the link in the pinned comment or description for the best way to buy or sell tickets to all your favorite events at StubHub. Also, check the link in my pinned comment or description to check out the Fanatics store link for some exclusive deals on NBA gear before they expire and to help support the channel. Stay tuned because we have something big coming soon. If you haven't already, make sure to join the Discord link in the description, like the video, and comment on any video suggestions for the future, or anything I could have done better. Also, comment on what team you think is the best fit for Jaylen Brown, or what you think will happen to him in the future. Let's get a great basketball conversation started. I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a blessed day. Peace.